Hello and welcome. Today is the first day of July. Yes, 2017. My name is Derek. You can follow me on Steemit at Derek Crypto. The link in the more information box. And in today's video, let's take a look at technical analysis on the individual code ANS, or in that of AntShares, traded on the Bittrex exchange. And I have a low for my Fibonacci and I have a high. You can see three numbers written and with lines on the screen. But within Fibonacci analysis, I need to find a key low. And the ones I like to use is either a key breakout low. There's only one here, and that number is right in here. That's the breakout low. I could use that, although I'm not. I even could use the major low. This is a situation from the looks of this chart where as this market was heading lower, somebody just sold big, and they just, probably one person or a group of a large entity of some sort, selling pretty much everything they had, and one of those big mistakes. And then of course the market shoots back up to its normal trading range. And when that happens, then that to me is, even though it's a real situation, the person sold pretty darn near cheap at the end and people bought cheap, the market trend didn't go there. Now if the market would have came back here and did something like that, oh, by all means, then it really becomes a very, very key low. So I'm going to use a 3400, which represents the early March levels within this point in here, the lowest level in here, as a key low, because I'm counting this one as artificial. Notice from the big lows, not counting this, but 3,400 into 541. And this high, there is no other choices. You want the big high. You can use the same sort of deals, but no. You want the biggest high, and very noticeable. 3,400 multiply 100 happens to be 340,000. So it has surpassed a 100x gain from this point. 120, 130. These moves are monstrous, to say the least. So within the recent time frame, since this high has occurred, price action in this period in here came right back down to the 23.6% down correction mark in at around 208,000. May I point out that was a correctionary move of 60% off. What happens to stock markets when they have 60% off? What do we call them? We call them stock market crashes, and horrific at that. But no. Here it's a correctionary phase, a correctionary move, as I stated. And since that point, we can see just within the individual period that it had a decent quick rally, which meant it was at least a good day trade. There's no denying that, because it had its instant move. Then it comes down again, piercing below, and has had 3 good green candles up since that point. So as it's playing out now, there's been a couple red down moves. Okay, so be it. We're going to shorten out the time frame. But if it can hold within here, especially if this thing can, say, elapse 6 to 10 days, at least at that time frame, maybe even have a little test up towards this area again and pull back, that you could establish this 400,000 handle as being very big. Because on a break of it, you're going to either have, you're going to have a move most likely here, which will either extend it, or even in often cases do something in that nature as well. Something you would be looking for within such. However, I mean, there's some deadly, and I use the word deadly, I guess, for people who are unable to understand its volatility, making poor financial decisions, but deadly moves. Because yeah, I talk about like that 60% down move, but here's this level in at 115. That would be another just a decent regular correction. A harsh correction would be 61.8 down. I don't think that's going to happen, but it does coincide within this mark. I'll give you the number just in case. But I think being a buyer, and I've got a buy order lower than this, lower. But move into here. If it ends up failing, heck, that's not a surprise. And if the price action falls to 115, well, that would be about 75-80% haircut or loss from this high. And in the stock market, we call that a horrific 1930s stock market collapse, because that's the only time that's ever happened, as far as my knowledge is concerned, of a extreme major loss in price. But I think if price action moves here, both on a bullish and bearish level, there's a darn near good chance it can reach this key point. And when I do numbers in my head, buying, and it would be a pierce below around 110, knowing I could sell at about 210, that's a gain of darn near 100%, but pretty close to 90% on just a quick scalp. Maybe you want to play this long term, and this is a situation where you can decide, okay, I'm going to buy this and just hold, and I want the cheaper prices. That's up to you. But again, if you're looking for an area where if it does pull back lower, don't be surprised if it is in here. Let's move this on to the 60-minute time frame. And we have it within the same key, 540. I'm missing a zero, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I could say 54.10. As long as you know what the pretty much numbers are, you know what I'm saying. So 54 falling down to 17.6 and a smaller move. I mean, that's just massive volatility when you consider it. So therefore, from the bottom, perfect resistance where it was supposed to. Then it comes back to where it's supposed to, as in previous resistance and to the band. Then here you manage to flirt with it a little bit, take it out, support within this area with a little failed scare move here. And you know what? This pierce below, this would be a little surprise, but you know what? It makes up for it by hitting this fib point well. Now, as we can see within this 18 average, market's declining. We have this move in here, leg lower. Hitting this band in here, falling lower. So it definitely looks just short term as if this thing is ready to fall for another move lower, because when you have this pattern where you are leaving this key 61.8 fib mark and you have these bearish tendencies, like I stated, you resist this, you break support, you come back to the band and you do exactly this, follow through with this, I would state is probably going now high likelihood to next key level. And we'll see how well the 27,000 handle plays. And just for even quick day trades, this gives opportunities where you can buy here and get 15, 20, 25% very quick gains. That could be possible. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that area will be support for at 27. Going back to this daily chart, that would mean a move into here, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, it's going to definitely bottom there. But you know what? Short term, it very easily can, where you could even just get something like this and then just that. And then you know what? That to me is still a decent bottom hit. Like I was stating again, I wouldn't mind a few days of this consolidating and then give myself some indications that maybe I can play for another leg higher. But let's face it, this thing is well overextended. Many of the codes, even the great ones, you can tell me this is the greatest code there is or the greatest crypto. Okay, you know what? If it is long term, it'll show itself, right? But these movements will have major price fluctuations. And it's very common to get just a simple 38.2% down correction. So that is where I'll be placing a buy order for a long term. And for that short term number, yeah, I will be playing again with a buy order around 27, because I feel that I could easily get some sales up to these targets, probably within the hour 3 or 4 from execution of buy. So thank you for tuning in. And yeah, so what I mean by execution of buy, so it comes down, I get my buy order, I see it. Okay, I'm going to buy it probably 26,400 even, because I like the Pierce. So I'm going to buy there, then I'll put some sell orders in from around 30 or so, depending on what happens on the way down. And I look at that as about a 15% gain, something just for a quick little scalp. And again, I'm putting a very lower amount on a buy order here than I am on the more longer term level. So thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.